Hello, hello guys. Good evening. Please confirm if you can hear me in the chat box. Good evening, everyone. Confirm if you can hear me in the chat box. Let me go to YouTube. Okay, good evening. How was your day? Can you describe your day in one word? Can you describe your day in one word? All right. And I also want you to tell me like what you learned from our last class. What was it? What was the takeaway from the last class? Tell me your takeaway, your major takeaway from our last class. Tell me your major takeaway from our last class. Okay, learn about content pillars. All right. Okay, that's good. Using storytelling to get their attention. Okay. I hope most of you are putting this in practice and not just learning it. It would be good if you can put it in practice. Try to get your hands try to write, especially when it comes to writing. Writing is the most important skill in marketing, in my opinion, because everything starts with writing. Everything starts with writing. If you want to create a video, you have to know how to write a script. If you want to do a design, you have to know how to write the copy for the design. And there's still this battle between designers and copywriter that what's more important, is it the design or the copy? Well, we all know that the copy is more important. All right, very interesting. Last week we did not complete our class, so I'm just going to run through what we couldn't touch in our last class, and after that we'll go to today's class. So today's class, as I have seen, is content distribution and repurposing. But we did not talk about copywriting formulas in our last class, and I will just go through it quickly. So there are different copywriting formulas. If you have done your research, gone through materials before attending this class and search copywriting formulas, you will have seen a lot of videos giving you so many copywriting formulas. There's the either, there's pass, there's for use. There are different types of copywriting formulas. We have created like the most important three or four for you guys so that when you want to write, it's easier for you. Now, as a copywriting is more science, is science and art. It's different from fictional writing. So with fictional writing, you have to be creative, have an idea, paint a picture. But most times with copywriting, it's more science, it's more psychological, right? So there's a science to it, right? So you don't just sit down and stare at your blank page and then be thinking of what to write. There are formulas that should guide you, right? So there's a science side of marketing that you must realize, right? And copywriting also works that way. So there are formulas that you can use, they're like frameworks, they're like structures that you can quickly use to write your copy. That's very important. One of those major formulas is called PASS. And PASS is problem, agitate, and solution. If I don't know if it was in this class that I said it, that this is one of my this is my favorite formula ever. And you can literally do anything. You can literally write anything with this particular formula that is right here. So with emails, with sales pages, even your content passes one formula that is you can use anywhere, right? You can use it on anything, right? And it's just simply problem, agitate, and solution, right? So problem, agitate, and solution. What does problem mean? Problem means that you are stating the problem, right? You are stating exactly what the problem is. So for most of you that are selling something, you can actually think and write three or more, write like 10 problems that your clients or your customers are actually facing. Like what are their problems, what are their objections, what are their pain points, right? And then you start your content with that particular problem. And then agitate. So agitate means that you kind of paint a picture of that problem. You paint a picture of that problem. What do I mean by painting a picture of that problem? So I can say, let's say I'm selling a drug or maybe a syrup that will help people sleep more, right? So my problem hook can be: are you struggling to sleep well at night? Now that's a particular problem, and that's a question problem. Are you struggling to sleep well at night? Then I can now go deeper into that struggling to sleep well, and say, um, you come back you come back from a very hectic day. You you know your body needs sleep, but you jump on your bed, you jump on your bed, and you are just staring at the ceiling for hours, unable to sleep. Now, what I've just described, the way I've just described that person that's unable to sleep, it's me agitating it. So I'm breaking it down and like painting a picture of the problem in a way that they can actually see themselves in that particular situation. Now that's agitation. So I've painted a problem, I've highlighted the problem, and I've agitated it, and then I can now give a solution. So if this sounds like you can buy this syrup that will make you sleep in less than 30 minutes after using it. Now that's the solution. And there's an example that I gave here. So problem is like struggling to grow on IG. Now that's a problem. Then you agitate it by pouring more, putting more salt on the wound. And this is now you're basically saying, so you're posting daily and still not getting results. Then the solution is now, here is a better strategy, right? And then they can download your free your free cheat sheets that helps them to write viral blogs. Okay, so that's past. And now there's ADA, right? So ADA basically is attention, interest, and attention, interest, desire, and action. Attention, interest, desire, and action. So attention is basically you calling out people's attention. Now you can call out people's attention in so many ways. It could be by an how-to headline. So how-to headlines are basically headlines that says how to do this, how to do this, and there are different aspects of that how-to headline which I might explain later. I'll send you materials for that. You can use question headlines. You can ask a question, right? So basically, you are saying something that grabs people's attention, and then you are pulling their interest to it, and then describing their desire, then giving a call to action, right? So this works on more on ads and um, and landing pages. I don't know if you have seen any advertisements that says something like attention content creators. If you are doing this, you are wasting money. Or attention business owners. If you are running ads on Facebook this way, you are wasting money. Something like that. So it's calling people's attention, right? Calling people's attention, describing the audience you're speaking to, and then arousing their interest. So saying things that are interested in, and then are putting in the desires, and then giving a call to action. That's basically it. And then there's FAB, there's feature, advantage, and benefit. Now there are differences between features and benefits. Right? Features and benefits are not the same thing. So features, I think in my last class I also described it as features gives you um, gives you the basic use of something. Like it tells you a feature a of a fan now is that that's 3 blades, but benefit describes exactly what exactly it does, right? So because it has 3 blades now, you never like be like when there's heat, you always have something to keep it cool, right? That's benefit. Okay, so that's another formula. And then there's the forces formula, which is clear, concise, compelling, compelling and credible, right? So something like this is a good example. So modern online and offline payments for Africa is very clear, it's concise, compelling, and credible. And then if you look down here, you will see. Let me just so you will see a trusted by over 200,000 businesses. Now, this is Domino's, MTN, Bolt, and other companies. This thing is called social proof. This is for credibility, right? It's for credibility. And there's another formula called BAB, before after bridge. This is also important, right? It states the before and then it states the after and then gives the bridge of and gives you the bridge, right? So an example is, so if you are a small business owner, you know that marketing is crucial to growing your business, but it can feel overwhelming to figure out where to start. Now this is the before, right? So before is, if you are a small business owner, you know that marketing is crucial to growing your business, but it can feel overwhelming to figure out where to start. Now after, right? So the good news is that successful marketing doesn't have to be complicated. With a solid plan, the right tools, and the right tactics, you can effectively promote your business without spending hours doing so. Now, the before explains, this is a short copy, but if it was like a long copy, by the way, there are two different types of copy. There's long copy and there's short copy. Short copies are normally short, and then long copy are normally long. So things that I see on like on a sales page, for example, a sales page copy is usually long, like all these long copies that you read and you just scrolling. And then short copies are normally for social media, like something that you post on Instagram, for example, is a short copy, right? So, but this is a short copy, and you can see that the before. So the before he explains the overwhelm of marketing for a new business or for a growing business, and then he gives the after by saying that if you have if you have the right tools, the right tactics, and a solid plan, it's more easier. So that's the after. Then the bridge is now the product, right? To get started, it's important to reach the right audience and convert convert them into and convert engagement into sales. Right. So Tom from Wishpond shares 10 of the most important small business marketing tips to help you do just that in this article. Now, the before was what they are facing before, which is overwhelm. Then after is you can you can actually do it spending less time, right? You can actually do marketing spending less time with the right plan, the right tools, and the right tactics. Now the bridge is a 10 essential marketing tips, which is actually the products here, right? So if you are running a business, for example, I'm going to use. Can somebody give me a business that I can use for an example? Can somebody give me one business that I can use as example? If you can't see this, just be patient. You are going to have access to this slide. Well, you have access to this slide already. I sent it last week, so you can check it. So I'm going to use I've used shifts. Okay, baking. All right, so baking. So let's say you are selling like cakes, like so you can say, so if you are celebrating, what can be before of people that need cake, right? So I can start my content by saying, so see, let's be honest, a birthday without having a cake is not really a celebration, right? So that's my before, right? Then my after can be if you want your friends to celebrate with you, the best way to do this is to have a cake and everyone can enjoy the moment and eat together, have fun and eat together, right? And that's my after. Then the bridge can now be my cake product, and I can say, I'm just coming up with this from the top of my head, and I can say, I Toby can help you make that cake that is memorable and unforgettable with you. That creates that memorable and unforgettable moment with you and your friends. So that's just an example up from the top of my head, right? So it's just you basically taking the before, then the after, then the bridge, connecting your product as a bridge to as a bridge of the copy, right? So content formats, they are short form, right? They are short form formats like reels. Reels is like 1 minute 30 seconds, and there are tweets, there are captions, there are threads. So, like I said, there's different. There are two different types of copies. There's a long form copy, there's a short form copy. That's what I'm just trying to explain here. So, long form formats of content also. There are blogs, newsletters, sales pages, for example. So, long form. For example, if you go to a sales page, you see how long a sales page is, right? That's a long form copy. Then visuals and text, carousels. I think we will explain carousels to a large extent. Infographics. Infographics are basically how would I describe an infographic now? An infographic is basically using in academia. Let me see if I can get an example here of an infographic so I can show you, because there are businesses that are coming up now that are needing infographic content. And if you can write infographic content, like you can create infographic designs and things like that, it's a new market relatively, right? So while that is loading, um, okay, uh, let me just let me use this to make faster. Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen. So this is an example of an infographic, right? You can see that it's the text are tiny. There is a bit of illustration there, right? There's a bit of graphics. So most of there are more complex infographics than this, right? But this is just an example of an infographic. Instead of doing like a carousel, you can actually do like a complex graphic design, something like this. Yeah. So this is an example of and just an example of an infographic. If you go to this page, you see more. Here's another. Here's another example. These are examples of infographic. Yeah. Um, Yeah, so infographic videos and subtitles, right? So repurposing content for maximum reach, right? So one blog can lead to one can lead to carousels, can lead to reels and things like that. Tweet threads, Churches can lead to newsletter. Instagram captions can lead to. We'll talk more about repurposing today. So yeah. So basically, let's now move to today's class, which is content distribution and repurposing. What do you understand by? Let me just ask you a question. What do you understand by content distribution? First of all, let's first start with distribution. What do you understand by content distribution? Anybody? What do you understand by content distribution? Okay. Distributing content. All right. Okay. Not bad. So content distribution is basically all the answers here are right. So content distribution is basically the process of disseminating your content for maximum reach, engagement, and visibility. One keyword there is visibility, right? Because as much as possible, while we're on social media, it's for visibility. We want more eyeballs, we want more traffic. So ensuring that we are distributing those content for visibility is very, very important. So we want visibility, we want more reach, and we want more engagement. Engagement in terms of sales mostly. Okay. So content distribution refers to all of those things that goes into ensuring that our content is distributed, is disseminated to the appropriate channels. We talked about channels, right? So Instagram, be it LinkedIn, and things like that. Then, what do you understand by content repurposing? Let me also ask, what do you understand that by content repurposing? I want your answers in the chat box. Content repurposing. Okay. I think the closest answer so far has been a bit coherent. Process of transforming a old content into new ones. Not that far, but it's not still the right answer. Conversion of content ideas into better suits. Now I'm going to give you a proper framework if you want to be consistent online. There are different ways to be consistent online. Yeah? There's different ways to be consistent online, especially when it comes to content, because everything about online being consistent online and staying online, staying visible, they all have to do with content, right? What big brands online, what they do is that they have a content like they have a content structure that makes them to create less content and get higher visibility, right? Your goal there is to create less content. If you're always creating content every day, I'm telling you, you cannot last when it comes to the content game. You can't last. So what big what big brands do, and brands that are the most successful, what they do is that they repurpose content. And what do I mean by repurposing? They first come up with a long form content. A long form content can be a newsletter. A newsletter is always long, right? A good newsletter is always long. So they come up with a long form content. Some their long form content is a YouTube video, maybe a 1 hour long YouTube video, like a podcast. And then they take those that 1 hour long podcast and then they repurpose it to smaller videos. For example, if I do like a 1 hour podcast and I can now cut that 1 hour podcast into short, very short videos, right? And post them on TikTok, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. And then from that from that one um, from that one long YouTube video, I can write a newsletter on that. From that one YouTube video, I can pick out carousel posts from that same content also, right? So are you getting how content repurposing works now, right? And I'm going to explain it more to you guys, right? So what big brands do, this is what big brands do, because they understand the content game. So they come up with a long form content, and then from that long form content they repurpose to smaller pieces of content. So what I do for clients most times when it comes to content is that we always have a newsletter. Any client I'm working with, when we start engagement, we create a newsletter for them. So a newsletter is always long, like it's like a long newsletter, like very, very, very valuable and comprehensive newsletter talking about a particular topic. Right? So we can say like five mistakes HR professionals are making when it comes to firing and hiring staffs, right? So that newsletter will be very comprehensive and giving a lot of value. Now from that one newsletter, we'll create we'll create 2 weeks carousels worth of content. 2 weeks content that particular um, from that particular um, from that particular content. We'll create 2 weeks worth of content from that one newsletter. Okay, and then from then on we can create video scripts from that same newsletter. We'll create video scripts that will send to clients to shoot videos and send back to us from that same newsletter. That newsletter will turn it into a script for YouTube videos. So that way we have repurposed that one newsletter into like sometimes a month's worth of content, right? So that and this is why repurpose works. So repurpose is not always about changing old content. It's about distributing your content for the maximum impact, right? Recycling, reusing, right? Reusing and even like republishing content. For example, one thing that we also do is that every content that has lasted like 30 days, if we post the content today, right? Well, if we post a content today, in the next 30 days, we'll post that same content again. Right? So we recycle content a lot, we post content a lot. Like the same content, we just copy and paste, especially for content that do really well, right? Especially for content that do really well, we'll repurpose those contents and we just repost them again. Someone is saying they don't get. What exactly don't you get? I'm still going to explain it. We are still going to explain it and break it down. Okay. So why does content distribution matter? Number one, posting once is not enough. posting once is not enough, right? People have a very, very short attention span. What you posted yesterday, nobody can remember, right? What you posted yesterday, nobody can remember. You think that like once you have posted content, like no, I've posted this content, I cannot post it again, like because I posted it yesterday. People cannot remember. People have a very, very short attention span because there's a lot of content that they are consuming per time. Okay, so posting once is not enough, right? And then you must have like a distribution system for that. Then algorithm favors consistency and variety. Now, consistency is subject to you and how you run your business. Now, basically, you must have a system for consistency. Right? So if you say you are going to be showing up three times every week, there must be a structure to support that showing up, and then there must be variety. Variety in the essence that in the sense that people get easily bored when it comes to content. Keep posting the same type of content and the same way, people get easily bored, right? So there was this client of mine that I was working with, and he has like he used to do like 3 minutes videos every day on Facebook, and then every time that he's doing the video, there's one particular catchphrase that he used to say. People got used to it, and then anytime he just wants to make the video and he says that particular catchphrase to start, you have already lost people. So what we do is that for every content, we start with a hook. Right? We start with something else that we say before it goes to that particular catchphrase. Right? So variety is very, very important. And consistency also is very, very important. So the algorithm favors consistency. Then number three is that you need to find the platform where your audience are and focus on that platform. No, now what's content distribution? Content distribution is the strategic process of sharing, publishing, and promoting content across channels to reach a wider audience. Now, this is for people who are working like that want to work smarter, right? These are people that want to work smarter. So you should basically have like two channels that are operating, one for long form content and one for short form content. And why is long form content important? Why is long form content important? I'm going to tell you why long form content. Now, short form content, they are for basically nurturing, right? Keeping people in loop of what you are doing. But long form content, it ends more it's what ends more fans, right? When you post long form content like newsletters, like long emails, like articles, things like that, you are indoctrinating people more, right? The more time people spend with your content, the more they become fans, right? The more loyal they become to your brand, right? So, and we've talked about channels also. We've talked about owned channels, end channels, and then paid channels. So owned channels are basically your email list. Like if you have an email list, these are traffic that you own. Now end channels are people when people mention you, when people share your content. Those are end channels. And then there's paid channels like when you run ads, influencer shoutouts and things like that. Now, content repurposing and what and why. So content repurposing is basically working content in different formats for different platforms to extend its life and value. For example, for me, every content I post them 3 times. Every content that I post them 3 times. And I'm going to show you like my one of my dashboard. Yeah. So every content I post it 3 times because the content that you post today, people don't remember tomorrow, right? So you need to have like different ways that you can actually repurpose that content for it to have more value, right? So this is an example of what I mean. So this one is personally for me, for my own content for Toby Obafemi, and I will show you just to give you an example. I'll also share this particular Excel with you. If you cannot see this, just go to YouTube, press settings on YouTube, go to settings, yeah, and increase your resolution. Increase your resolution. Okay, go to settings and increase your resolution. Right. Okay. All right. So for me, this is the idea of the content. Right. This is the idea of my content. So I had this idea. So there's no wrong marketing strategy. Now I made it a single post. I've explained what single post means before, guys. So if you don't understand, if you don't know what the single post is, what single post is, carousel and video post is, you can't watch previous videos. Now this is a single post. This is just like a flyer post, right? So I'll just create a single post to this. Then this same content, eh, I turned it to carousels. This same content I turned it to video. But guess what I started with? Right. So when I had this idea, what I first did was that I worked on the video script. Right. So I worked on the video script. So this was the video script that I worked on. So I wrote it as a script when I first got this idea, this content idea. I wrote it as a script. So from being a script, I converted it to a carousel. So now from being a carousel, I converted it to be a single post. Guys, it's still the same content. Like everything is still the same. Like literally still the same. So what I just did here was that I just converted this to a single post for the design, and the remaining content, everything was just copy and paste. But it's still the same content, but different, broken down into different segments, like broken down into different creatives. So one idea, three different creatives, and see these creatives, I repost them. Like this video, I've posted it like twice. This same carousel, I posted like three times. This same single post, I posted like, so that's how I increase the lifetime of and the lifetime and value of my content. So basically simple. So when you have a content idea, first you write a long form. For me, I'm on Instagram. So these are the assets that I deal with: carousel, single post, and videos. So I wrote it as a script. From a script, I turned it into a carousel. From a carousel, I turned it into a single post. And then I'm just reposting, right? So sometimes, maybe next time I want to even repost this carousel again, I might just change the slide one. Like I might just change the slide one and change slide one to a new slide, and then I'll repost it again. As simple as that. If you ask asking what carousels are, I've explained it a couple of times in this class. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. So what are the benefits of repurposing? So it helps you to save time and energy. Right? It helps you to save time and energy. You don't have to wake up every day thinking, what will I post? Like I've already just repurpose your content. Just repost past content, right? Then it expands your reach and multiple audience types. Right? I used to have, we can post 2 times in a day. It's just structure and systems. Very important. Then it helps you to reinforce your message. It helps you reinforce your message. The mistake people think is that people are watching us closely. Like nobody is really paying attention to you. Most people are just swiping through and they forget. People forget a lot. So you must reinforce your message with by posting more times, right? So these are real life examples. This was what I was trying to explain before, that from a blog post, right? You write a blog post, 5 tips on productivity. That same blog post, you can turn it into a carousel. You can turn each point, for example, these are 5 tips of productivity. You can pick one tip of productivity and turn it into a carousel, a 10-page carousel. You can also turn one tip into a Twitter thread. You can turn it into a short form video. You can turn it into a podcast. You can turn it into a Pinterest graphics, right? So you just need to know how to do these things. Come up with a long form content. When you're writing, come up with the whole idea of your content, right? and then repurpose it to different areas, right? So this is very important. And again, if you are running any kind of business, I would advise you to do educational content. For example, I believe any business can do educational content. Any business can do it. If you like be selling thrifts, if you like be selling tomatoes, you can do educational content. And this is one way to do educational content. Inform people before they buy, right? It makes you different. So this is an example. You can screenshot this and save it for later, but you have access to this slide, though, right? And then content posting tactics that works. Number one is volume, right? Don't be shy about posting often. Again, most people, you think a lot of people are watching you, but they're not watching you. People are scrollers. They are most people are mindlessly scrolling on the internet, right? So volume is very, very, very important when it comes to content. Volume is very, very important. For example, if you are on Instagram, like, and you post a reel and you get like 100 insights, if you post that same thing 3 times more, right, and you get another one, you get 100 views on each of the contents that you post, that's 500 views already. And you don't know what 500 views can do for your business. But you just have to have a strategy. You have to have a structure. You have to have a framework for this post. And then variety. So switch formats, videos, text, carousels. You have to switch formats. For example, I've shown you what I do. The same script that I write for a video, I repurpose it to a carousel. I repurpose it to a single post. Sometimes I repurpose it to different things. There's a new format of content now that I'm now creating. If you go to my Instagram, you might see it. Let me see if I can show you on my Instagram. There's a new format of content that I'm creating now, and it's very, very simple. So this is it. So this is a new format of content that I'm creating for my this is a new format of content I'm creating for my brand. So I just have a video, then I have text on top, and then I say read caption. This thing that I see here. It's a post that I've made a while ago, right? It's like a single post that I've made a while ago, and I just repurpose it to a video that has text on it. As simple as that, right? For people that are asking what are carousels, this is what carousel is. Carousels are just simple things like this. Like they are swipeable pictures, graphics online. So that's how you just have to post a lot of content, right? You have to post a lot of content. Let's go back to all right. So variety is very, very important. Then value. So give real value or entertainment. People are not online to buy. Nobody is online to buy. Um, Nobody comes online to buy services from you. Most people that are online are there to either enjoy themselves, relax, or like nobody's actually online to buy from you. So when you pop up in their feed, what kind of value can you give them? What kind of new information, what kind of new insights can you give them? These are the things that you need to think about. What kind of new information can you give somebody? What kind of new insights can you give somebody? Can you give somebody a solution to their problem? Right? Those are the things that you need to be thinking about. So how can I give value? Right? There's something I used to tell my clients: stop thinking about selling, think about helping. Right? So stop selling, start helping. When you think of your business like that even you think of your business like you are helping somebody, when you think of your business like you're helping somebody, it becomes more um it becomes more fun, it becomes more engaging for people, right? So most people, right? Most people, what they does do is to sell, right? Think of your business like you're helping people. If you are thinking of your business like you're helping people, you'll be more intentional about your products. You'll be more intentional about the people they are talking to. You'll be more intentional about their problems. You'll be more intentional about what they are going through, and then you just want to really help them. So that's very, very important. Then visibility. So use trends, use keywords, use hashtags. jump on trends as much as possible. If you are like in a line of business that can easily jump on trends, jump on trends. When people are doing new things on a how trends work is that when a trend drops, the algorithm starts giving favoritism to people that are doing that trends, because like what I told you, every platform, their main goal is for you to spend time on their platform. That's their main goal. They want you to spend more time on their platform. And if they are seeing that a new trend is making people click, it's making people engage, they will want to boost those trends and those particular music, those particular keywords. They want to boost them. So it's very, very important that you jump on trends, but don't jump on worldly trends, please. Jump on trends that actually make sense, that aligns with you and aligns with your value, right? Then keywords and hashtags. Hashtags right now, I will not say it's a really big thing, because hashtags are losing their value. Focus more on keywords, kind of captions that you're writing, the kind of words that you're putting on your graphics or your captions. They are very, very important. Okay, so now scheduling tools. Now for distribution, there are scheduling tools. You can plan 6 months worth of content, right? And you can schedule everything. One of the free tools that I use is called Meta Business Suite, right? Meta Business Suite, and on Meta Business Suite, you can schedule your content for your Facebook or IG. Right? If you are using LinkedIn, LinkedIn also has a scheduler. LinkedIn allows you to schedule, right? So for me, I like to look for in-house schedulers than going outside to go and download the app like Buffer. Like for example, Buffer also is a scheduler. Later also is a scheduler. But all these apps are more, you enjoy them when you pay for them. Right? But Meta Business Suite is free. So if you are using Instagram or you are using Facebook, Meta Business Suite is one that you can go to. So let me just give you an example of the Meta Business Suite scheduler. It's my own Meta Business Suite. So this is my own Meta Business Suite right here. And what I can do here is that I can go to content, I can plan my content. So right here you see content. I can see all the contents that I've posted with their insights. And if I come here, so if I come to planner, right, so I can plan my content for weeks, for months. I can press for months here, and I can see my content for months, and I can plan all my content. And to create posts is very, very easy. Right? So you can just create posts here, right? Create posts. Can select the either I want to post my Facebook or my Instagram. I mostly post to Instagram, so I'll just save this to my Instagram. Add a picture or add a video. Let's say I want to post this. So I want to post this. Then I can write my texts. Right? And then once I'm done, I can turn on the scheduling option. For the scheduling option, press the scheduling option, then I can decide when I want to schedule, when I want to post it. If I want to post this tomorrow, I select the time that I want to post it. As simple as, and then once I'm done, and I can schedule. That's all, right? So this works very well. Meta Business Suite, for if you have a very low budget and you don't want to spend money um, on apps for scheduling. You can use the Meta Business. Use the Meta Business Suite. Right, so that's it for Meta Business Suite. And then there are other alternatives like Buffer. There's also HubSpot. HubSpot also is a scheduler, data and things like that. So for tips for content, number one is to batch create content, right? You can batch create content weekly. So use the best time for your audience. Right? So when it comes to this best time thing, right? I don't know if you guys have noticed that there's a lot of like people say this is the best time to post, this is the best time to post. You just study your content. Just study the best time people engage with your content, right? Or pick a time and stick with that time. So one thing is very, very important when it comes to posting for me and for most of the clients that I work for. I just say let's pick a time that we'll be posting. For me, the time is not necessarily for target audience, it's for you, especially it's for you to be consistent, right? So we'll pick a time and then we'll ensure that that time we stick with it. So if we say we are posting 8 a.m. every morning, we stick to that time. 8 a.m. we post every morning. Right? So it's very, very important. All right. Let me look for questions. Let me look for questions. Do you have questions? How do you get to Meta Business Suite? If you have a Facebook page, you'll be able to get to Meta Business Suite. Or if you have Instagram, you'll be able to get to Meta Business Suite. If you go to your Instagram, go to like settings or something. Go to if I go to um so I go to settings, settings and privacy. I see Meta Business Suite. Can you see Meta Business Suite here? That's how you get to Meta Business Suite. Are we getting value, guys? Let me know if you are getting value. If you are getting value, just type value in the chat box. If you are getting value, just type the value in the chat box. If you have any question, please ask your question. I'm going to try to pay attention to. Yes, Meta will automatically post your content once it's ready. Okay. Mm, okay. Any questions? Yes, Meta Business is free. Meta Business is free. Call to action is very, very important. If you followed our content creation this thing, call to if you are a marketer, your goal is for them to do something. You want them to buy. So your call to action is very, very important. Right? So you have to put your call to action. Every content you have a call to action. Right? Either it's to like, to share, to buy something, to get something. Very important to have a call to action. What scheduling tool can you use for TikTok? You can use Buffer, you can use Later, you can use HubSpot. Um, it's Facebook Business Manager that I think they turned to Meta Business Suite, right? So it was Facebook before, now it's Meta. It's not an application. It's if, once you have Facebook, you have Meta Business Suite. Gifts, I'm not getting your questions. You say procedures of creating repurposing content from long newsletters. I'm not getting it. Yes, if you have Instagram, just go to, I think I showed you. Go to your Instagram, go to settings, you see Meta, right? You have Meta Business Suite so far you have either an Instagram account or a Facebook account. Someone is asking what is the difference between Meta Business and Facebook Business. Facebook changed their name to Meta, so now it's like Meta. Meta is the general home for Facebook. Like it was Facebook before. Now it's Meta. I mean, you guys are now aware that Facebook has changed their name. It's now they have Meta. Like Facebook is now a product under Meta. Instagram is now a product under Meta. Facebook is just a product on its own now. It's follow news, so it's an old news. So I realized that the number of followers on my business page is just steadily reducing. I've not been able to figure out what is the problem. Um, Adeola, are you posting consistently? And also, if your followers are reducing, it could be a blessing in disguise because you actually don't want people you don't want people who does not want to buy from you to follow you. But I think your this thing should be how to get new followers. So number one, improve your content. Just improve your content and post regularly for consistency. Right. So we are going to have a break now. After the break, we'll come back to class. Right. So you can go and take your attendance. See you soon. Hello everyone. Confirm you can hear me. Please confirm if you can hear me. Okay. Very quickly, I want you guys to tell me your key takeaways so far. Right? I want you to tell me your key takeaways so far. What have you learned so far? What has been your key takeaway? Yes. Okay. Someone says be consistent. That's good. Okay. All right. So we can continue. So we'll have more time for questions and answers later. So yeah, so distribution. So there are many um forms of distribution, and this will be for larger firms that you have more systems, you have more people to undo undo a lot of things, right? And this is what big brands do. So if you guys, who knows Alex Amosi? Yeah, who knows Alex Amosi? So things I learned this 5x rule from me. Right, so you can go and search him up later after this class. Alex Amosi, that's his name. Right. So what it does is that it creates one core content, right? So they spread it to 5 formats. So they create one core content, it can be like a long form YouTube video, a very long form YouTube video, and then like this video can be 5 hours sometimes or 3 hours, and then they cut it into 5 formats. So there are blog posts, there are videos, like short form videos. You can cut it into 1 hour videos, infographics, they do social media posts, emails, and newsletters. Then they now post it across 5 platforms. So on their website, they have blogs there. On their YouTube, they post all these videos there, shorts and normal videos. Then Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and their newsletter, right? So practically, this is content distribution, right? Content distribution, and most of the contents they purpose it, you post them. If a content does well, if a content does well once, it will definitely do well again, right? So that's the whole idea. So if a content can do well once, it will definitely do well again. Now, this is what a content calendar looks like, right? So, content calendar planning. So, on Monday, you know exactly what you're posting. So, for me, what a content calendar will look like for me is that every day I used to ensure that I write. Right, every day I ensure that I write, and once I write one long form content, I can now break it down into carousels. Like I can now turn it into carousels. For example, um, I'm going to be using my profile for a lot of examples here because I'm an active content creator, and it's very important that everybody here is an active content creator because content is everything. There are thousands of people that are doing all of these things, right? So for me now, for example, this is one form of content. This is a carousel form of content. This carousel content here, I will do a video of it, right? And then that's a video content. I turn it to my video content, right? And see, this is also a carousel content, alternative video content, alternative single image content. This particular post that I told you about, this particular post, it's been a normal. I've posted it before. This is not the first time I'm posting it. I just changed the format and posted it as a video. Now I'll still go and do video. Like I'll still do talking and video on this. Right. So it's just you repurposing, you like coming out with different variety, right? exploring different types of content, right, and making them work for you. So the content calendar will help you to plan this well. Like you'll be able to see like exactly what you're posting every day, what you're posting next week, and things like that. And with Meta Business Suite, if you have Instagram or Facebook, you can actually do this with Meta Business Suite. Plan all your content ahead, right? Have all your content ahead. And I also shared last week. I shared a content planner with you guys. That content planner is effective, guys. Like it's effective. You can use it, and your best friend will be Google Suites, right? So learn how to use spreadsheets, Google Sheets. Learn how to use Google Docs, and learn how to use Google Slides. Those three things are very very important, right? Learn how to use those three things. So this is the 90 days content plan I shared with you guys yesterday in our last class. So one thing that is very very important is that every day you're writing. Like ensure that you're writing every day, right? So plan your long form content. If your long form content is going to be like, let's say, a newsletter, or let's say a YouTube video, that's your long form content. Then you can now break this long form content into small other content. And this is the content planner, right? So you can use this content planner to plan all of your content before you transfer it to your before you transfer it to the software that where you schedule all your content. All right. Um, so Tuesday you should know what you're posting. Either it's carousel from the core idea. Then Wednesday email summary, IG stories. Thursday Twitter or X threads, then reels and shorts. Right. So tools for repurposing the script. Even ChatGPT is good, right? Canva also, Canva templates. Like now on Canva, you can do different designs in one slide, right? All my designs are done on Canva. Everything I do, I use Canva and CapCut. Those are the two major platforms that I use, Canva and CapCut. All my designs are done on CapCut. This particular presentation is on CapCut, right? So ChatGPT for summarizing, for idea reformatting. Also, like I said, CapCut and InShot for editing, right? And then Otter AI for to transcribe videos for reuse. So those are basic tools that you need. You can use free Canva. Like it depends on what you are doing with Canva Pro, and there's a way to get Canva Pro. For example, myself, there are ways to join with other communities to get Canva Pro if you're in Nigeria. But Canva Pro preferably, most of my clients have Canva Pro, so I design with their own Canva Pro. But if you can get your hands on Canva Pro, that will be very very effective. And also CapCut Pro, if you can get your hands on CapCut Pro, that will be very very effective. But all of these tools, you can start with the free version. You can start with the free version. For example, for videos, all you need is cutting for videos, right? All you need is cutting and maybe a little bit of um a little bit of transcribing. Yeah. Yeah. So Figma is more complicated. If you can't use Figma, don't go near it. Right? Figma is simple, also is also complicated. But Canva is very, very simple. There are templates that you can use on Canva. Editing, no. Right. So if you want to learn editing, the best place to learn editing, use the use the University of use the YouTube University. YouTube is a very, very big university, especially when it comes to CapCut. CapCut is a simple editing app. Like even if you are doing editing in DSA, to be Adobe teaching you more complex things. But if you are using CapCut, it's a very very simple editing app that you can actually um, learn with YouTube. Honestly, so metrics, right? So metrics to track for smarter distribution. Number one is impressions. Like impression is how many times are people watching or are people seeing my my content. The engagement is what are the clicks, what are the saves, what are the shares, who are the people that are commenting. Then conversion, right? Conversion, DMs, email signups, right? So DMs, email signups, downloads, things like that. Those are basic conversions, right? And then channels of growth, followers and subscribers. Somebody was asking that they are losing a lot of followers. If you are losing a lot of followers, number one, it means that people that are unfollowing you are not your ideal audience. Actually, like if you check very well, they're not ideal audience. You prefer people who are your ideal audience following you than people who are not your ideal audience. For me, I don't I don't look at my follower growth. Like for me, anybody that is following me, I would like for them to be my ideal audience, right? So if somebody who is not my ideal audience unfollows me, I'm not offended at all. Like it does me more good, right, than bad. Self. It does me more good than bad if you unfollow me and you're not my ideal audience. All right. So three mistakes to avoid, and this is my second to last slide before we just go to questions, right? Three mistakes to avoid: posting without context. Posting without context. I see this happening a lot, right? A lot of people, you post with no caption. Please don't do that again. When you post, put caption, explain what it's about, explain your product, talk about benefits. Now you have access to copy frameworks and copy formulas. Use the pass, use ADA, use the four U's, right? Use the four C's also. It's very important to put context in your posting. Then number two is ignoring platform native style. Ignoring platform native style. Now, it's very, very important to understand the platform that you're posting on. It's important to understand the platform that you're posting on, right? For example, if um, if you are on TikTok and you're posting more of carousels than videos, you cannot do it. Like you won't. The native style on TikTok is videos, right? So if you're on TikTok, you should know that you'll be doing more videos. And also for Instagram also, you know that they favor more videos than pictures, and so you have to do more videos. Right. So using the platform native style is also very, very important. Then now being consistent with the brand voice. Like when we were talking about what topic were we talking about, and what makes you different. So we must understand what makes you different. What makes your business different? If you are selling plantain chips, what makes your plantain chips different from other people's plantain chips? So you must find your unique brand positioning, and your brand is just what other people say about you. What people are saying about you is your brand. Right? So you must find your unique brand positioning and communicate that message so hard and so consistent that people now, like when they see you or they see your product or they see any of your brand elements, they can be able to associate that positioning or that messaging with your brand, right? Very, very important. So think of what makes you different. What unique problem are you trying to solve? What unique solution do you provide to the market? And be consistent with those things. Like repeat it as often as possible. Repeat it as much as possible. Right. Very, very important. So if you have any questions, please drop it. I'll just use this 20 minutes to answer questions, maybe do some practicals with you guys and have a chat. But that's all for my slide. Questions, questions. Let me talk to you guys about content ideation, right? If you are in this content game and you're a digital marketer, you need to have a content bank. right? So this is what I call a content bank. My content bank is on my Google Docs, right? So I have a Google Doc where, and also I have this. I have the app on my phone. So if you want to download the app, just go and search Docs on on App Store, Play Store, and download it on my phone. So what I do is that I when anytime I get an idea, I go to that Google Doc and I put them there, and I put all my ideas there. Where's my documents? Right. So you need to have a content bank. So this is an example of a content bank right here. So like this is where I write all my content. This is where it originates from. Anytime I get a content idea, anytime something drops in my head, I come to this content document and I just type it there as as rough as possible. Like I just type it there as rough as possible. So I have so many contents here that I've not even posted. But this is basically my content back. You can see this content. I've not even worked on it. It's just half baked. But I just had this content. I wrote it down. Right. These are some content, video scripts that I have, video ideas that I have, right? So basically, you should have a content bank. When anytime you have an idea of a content, just come there and write the content down. Just write the content down. So yours does not have to be like in a Google Doc. Yours just can be a WhatsApp. For example, me again, another side where I date my content is on my WhatsApp. So I have like my personal WhatsApp where I throw in ideas. Once I get an idea, maybe in church or something, I just type it down and send it there, and then I go and work it. I go and work on it later. Like I don't sit down and start thinking, what do I post today? I already have a content bank. I can just go back to my documents and just scroll, and I'll see something that I've written before, and I already have what to post. Right? I'll go through my Instagram again, and then I see what to post, and I just post it. So having a content bank is very, very important. Also, if you are working for a client, and if you might also need this, having a story bank also is important. So story banks are like success stories, testimonials, client stories, and things like that. You can also have a story bank. For me, I work mostly with coaches. So, and for me, in selling, I use storytelling funnels. What I mean by storytelling funnels is that everything that happens with the content and content from the content visibility to sales, it's all about stories. So we tell a lot of stories. So I use stories to a lot. So I have a story bank for my clients. I also have my own story bank. So for once I'm done ideating um and I'm done with like ideating my content, I come to I do all my designs on Canva, and I'm going to show you how I do my designs on Canva now. Uh, so this is my Canva. So basically, I have I have one or two for my distance. So for my video, all these my video posts, the new post ideas that I have now, I use I just go to Canva, right, and I look for a video that matches what I want to see. Mostly they are nature videos. So mostly they are videos on nature. So I just look for like a nature video on Canva, go to elements. It's bank, not bow. Contents bank, story bank. YouTube University is very, very free. Oh, right. So Let me just go back home so that I can show you the Canva from scratch. Right. So this Canva, this is my Canva, and then this I think this is a pro Canva, right? So for me, um, so depending on the social media platform that you're posting on, so if you are posting on Instagram, Instagram has a dimension. Instagram has Instagram dimension. So you want to be sure of the Instagram dimension. So for now, this is the Instagram dimension for Instagram, and 1080 to 1350 pixel. Right. So you just select your Instagram. Um, Instagram. If it's a post, right? If it's a reel, right? You can just search Instagram reel here. Instagram reel. And that's one thing I love about CapCut is that about Canva, that it's templated, like a lot of templates. So you can this is the size for Instagram reel. Right? So portraits. So Instagram reel cover, you can just search for Instagram reel. Yeah. So if you are doing a post, for example, for me, if it's a post, um, let me go back home. So for me, if it's a post, this is where I write all my posts. Yeah? So you can see 1080 to 1350. Right. So this is where all my posts are. So um, once I'm done working with on the content in my content, but let's say during the week I get an inspiration about the content that I want to post on my social media. I go to my content bank, put the content there, right? And then once I'm done working on it in my content, when I'm done working on it in my content bank, I take it to Canva, then I start designing, right? So what I would just do is to create like a new page for it. So these are all my content. I'll just go to the last part, right? And I'll create a new, so I can create a new document for it, and then I can start designing. Drop in all my texts and whatnot, and then I start designing. And once I'm done, download and I share, right? And again, if it's a video, shoot the video. I shoot the video and I edit it using CapCut. CapCut is very, very simple. Use YouTube University to learn CapCut, basically. I don't think you need to pay for any course to learn CapCut, honestly, in my opinion. Yeah. If you are going to be, yes, this is a paid version. So if you are going to pay for any app to, but you can use free, guys. What you need on Canva is basically text and images. There are free images there too that are good. Okay, right. Another way I actually get content ideas, because sometimes it's not it's good to um it's good to have to see what others are doing to guide you, right? So another way I get content ideas is to look for people in my niche, right? I go to Instagram and search for people in my niche, right? So for example, so I go to Instagram and look for people in my niche, look at what they are doing, right? There's this principle of Dream 100 that I teach my students. So anything that you're doing now, the 100 people that are doing that same thing and they are doing it at the higher level than you are doing it, right? The 100 people that are doing the same thing that you want to do or you are doing right now, and they are doing it at a higher level than you are doing it, right? And the goal is that you need to look for those 100 people, look at what they are doing, and try to remodel what they are doing. Very, 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 very simple, but it's hard to do. If you are selling anything you are selling now, there are more than 100 people who are doing that same thing they are doing, but they are successful doing it, or they are already doing it more than you. So what you need to do is to go and look for those 100 people, follow them, and try to model what they're doing. Very, very, it's simple, but it's hard to do most times. So what I do is that I have a compilation of people who are doing better than me, right? And I look at what they are doing and I try to model what they are doing. For example, there's some there's one of the people that I follow and is really good in when it comes to the content games. When it comes to the content games, right? So I look at his posts sometimes. I look at what he's doing, the kind of content that he's pushing out, and look at the results that he's having. So I basically look for his most performing post, right? And I look at what he's doing in the post and I get inspirations from them, right? One of the things that I do this a lot. I get inspiration from people a lot, right? Most of you that are struggling, you can just go and look at what other people are doing and just do what they are doing in your own way, right? So I get inspiration from people a lot. For example, let's say you're a digital marketer now, you need to find inspiration. This will be better done with your phone when it comes to Instagram because um, Instagram is largely a mobile app. Right? So you just search digital marketer and you see a list of digital marketer that will pop out, right? So this one is a digital marketing content coach, digital marketer of Lagos. Basically, I was looking for people with large following, right, that are doing extremely well. So this lady has 250K. So helping creators and entrepreneurs cultivate people's brand, blah blah blah. And I'll look at her content, look for what she's doing well in her content. So basically, I'll go to her reels, not even her posts, because on reels you can see the number of insights, right? You can see the number of views rather. So on this, she had 9,000 views. I'll basically look for videos where she had more views, right? So this video, she had 26,000, like let's say 27,000 views on this video, right? So she's definitely doing something right in this video. So I can look at what she's doing in the video, see if I can replicate it. So she's just basically talking about AI avatar, right? Um, Let me see another video. Okay, so she got 135,000 views on this video. I can look at the video and look at what she's doing. Okay, she's talking about a program again. Let me look at this content. Okay, so I can just look for contents that I think I can replicate and it has done very well for her and try to replicate those contents, right? So that's how marketing actually works. Marketing has to do with a lot of um, trying to copy a lot of people, right? Looking for what works and trying to replicate it. Try to replicate them, right? So again, questions. Do you have questions? If we don't, we will close. We have to close early today. But let me know if you've gotten value. Again, guys, this thing is implementation is the most important thing. Let me look for questions. I want to learn how to use CapCut very well. University of Go to YouTube University. Let me know if you've gotten value. Let me know if you've gotten value. Is it advisable to link? It's very, very advisable to link your Facebook account to your Instagram account. It's just for easy access. Adeola, don't overthink your designs. See, you get better by doing. You get better by doing, right? A lot of us stay stuck trying to be perfect, but you should have seen my designs. I'm not even saying my designs are good now. You have seen my designs like 3 years ago. They were trash, but I just kept doing it. I just kept doing it. I just kept doing it. And once I started, once I kept on doing, I got better. So don't pay too much attention to. I'm not saying you should not come up with quality, but learn the basics. The basics of design, number one is typography and consistency. For example, don't use one font, stick to one font. Pick one font and stick to one font. Pick two colors and stick to those two colors. Don't change colors. Pick two colors, stick to those two colors. Pick one font, stick to that one font. And typography, not left align, know when to right align. Don't left align, don't right align in one place and middle align in another place. And then clarity, right? But clarity is very, very important. If you see my Instagram, you see how I do my content. I don't compound my like I don't complicate my carousels, right? Simple text there and there, right? So just learn basic principles of designing. Go to YouTube University, learn basic principles of designing. Typography, knowing how to align, knowing fonts to use, the fonts that will match your brand. Once you understand fonts, pick one or two fonts. Pick a bold font, pick a body font. That's all. That's all you need. And then pick two colors or three colors at most and stick to those colors. Very, very important. If your Facebook page was restricted, you should contact Meta and find out why. Why was your Facebook page restricted? You contact Meta and find out why. And then if you cannot recover your Facebook page, just open a new Facebook page. Like life is not that life is not that hard. Like a lot of people will spend so much time trying to recover an Instagram account, and in the long run they waste a lot of time, pay people to recover Instagram accounts, and they don't end up recovering it and they just waste their time. Just open another Instagram account and start afresh very fast. How can someone make best use of Canva templates with a free account? Do they have an existing application to use? No, like once you open Canva, they already have templates there. You see the ones that are free, you see the ones that are pro. If you have a free account, just stick to the ones that are free and use the templates. Just go to canva.com. Someone asks, how can I access Canva in my PC? To access Canva, go to canva.com and register. If you are in school, I think you have an advantage. When I was in school, they gave me 1 year for free. So if you sign up with your educational email, like I don't know where in my school, Sha, when I went to university, I have like my school gave me an email, right? So the email ends with edu.ng, right? If you have an email like that, if your school has given you an email, if they've not given you, you can request for an email. If you are part of a school, you should have an email tied to that school. Right? If they have not given you, ask for an email and then go to their educational program. I think you can get 1 year free access to Canva Pro. I'm not sure if that still applies, but as at 2020, 2021, that program was still on. YouTube is not a university. I just use that word because YouTube is where I learn a lot of things. Most of these things, I'm going to be frank with you guys. I never attended until like I was like 2 years into digital marketing. I never paid for any marketing class or attended any marketing class. It was later, like when I was 2 years into marketing, that I paid for an IT program to learn some things in marketing. And it was just more for connection, like just to get access to the person that was teaching. Not like I wanted to go and learn something because most of the things we were teaching there, I already knew them. YouTube was where I learned most of these things from. So if you want to learn how to design on CapCut, there's a YouTube University. Go there. Just go to YouTube. Let's search out how to. There are full courses on YouTube. Right? There are full courses on YouTube. Like I can show you how to even get those full courses on YouTube. Even copywriting, some of these skills, copywriting, Canva, go to YouTube, you see full courses on them and you can learn them. And then when you come to classes like this, it's just to upgrade your knowledge, get new ideas and new insights like this. I think it's like those YouTube University is YouTube. Is YouTube. Just go to YouTube. I'm just calling it YouTube University. Just go to YouTube. Um, questions. You will get exactly. You get the course materials. Please, you get the course materials. If you are doing a catering business, if you are doing a catering and a real estate business, your main platforms are Instagram and TikTok. Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So just concentrate on those three apps. So for Instagram and Facebook, you don't need like different attention. Like the same post that you post on Instagram, you can just post that post on Facebook. It's very, very easy. Once you have your Instagram and Facebook linked, it's very easy to manage. So just stick to Instagram and TikTok and just add Facebook to it as a secondary. And concentrate on videos. So WhatsApp platform is for closing, right? WhatsApp platform is for closing. Now, where for me, where I use WhatsApp platform as in my funnel is when I want to close somebody via the DMs and also for follow-ups. So for most of my clients, when I onboard them, I put them on a WhatsApp group. WhatsApp is like my Slack, right? WhatsApp generally is not like a marketing platform. I know that there is this status thing that people do, but then to get more status view, you need to save more contacts, right? So how do you save more like how do you save more contacts automatically? That's the challenge with WhatsApp, right? And most times when you're doing WhatsApp, you're even using your own personal WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp is like a place for conversations, right? So for me, I use WhatsApp in my funnel when I want to close prospect through DMs, and then I bring them to WhatsApp. For example, I can be running an ad, right? And then the link to the ad leads to WhatsApp. Then on WhatsApp, there's a DM closer that is there to close them on WhatsApp, and then we seal the deal. And I also use it to onboard clients. Like when I get a client, okay, we open a WhatsApp and do things like that. But generally, how you can use WhatsApp in form of marketing is through status, right? This status thing, posting on your status and posting on your status and getting customers from your status. But you need more contacts. Now, how can you get more contacts? You can get more contacts by running ads. And if you want to run ads, you have to go to Facebook and Instagram. So it still takes you back to the whole Facebook and Instagram thing, right? So WhatsApp is just for a place for closing. And if you have contacts, you can also nurture your contacts by posting on your status. Right? But WhatsApp is really a kind of small game. So for fashion designer, you can stick to Instagram and Facebook. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok also. Most of these things, they are more of your target audience are on these platforms, right? Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. But for me, I won't be concentrated on most of you are concentrated on platform. But if I were you, I'll be concentrated on who am I actually serving and how am I different from other people. There are thousands of fashion designers on all these platforms. How can I make myself different? Like, what is my unique angle? That's what I will be thinking about. What is my unique angle? What can make me different? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'll be more concerned about, right? For me, if I were the one. So industrial workwear, more Instagram, more of Instagram. Safety related, like industrial workwear, more of Instagram. Good. Ah, hmm, I'm not sure where you got this information from. So someone that makes frames and paints, Instagram and TikTok, right? So Instagram and TikTok, like a lot of people are considering on platforms. More, more, who are you serving? Like understand who you are serving first. Understand who you are serving, what makes you different, your unique positioning, and then choose your platform. And so for platform is not actually hard. So see, most important platform. If you are not into corporate, like if you are into anything that requires like corporate individuals, if you are targeting CEOs, you're targeting C-suite executives, you're targeting employees, employers, things like that. LinkedIn. Any other thing, the remaining Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Every those are your platform. But what will actually make you succeed on those platforms are your messaging, your positioning, and your content. That's very, very important. Yeah. So most of the answers that most of the questions that you guys are asking, um, they are they are those same platforms. Davana, Lucy? What's your question? I can't find your question. Okay, please, what format can I use to market or sell my book? Videos. Davana, if you are, I don't know what your book is, but if I wrote a book today, what I would do is to start a series on that book. So I'll start like a 30-day series on my book where every day I'm going to show up online and share a particular tip about that, a particular tip that I wrote in that book in video format. So maybe I'll start from chapter one. I'll read a particular line of the book and just give context to that line and why it's like that. And I'll just start a 30-day series. So every day I'm going to show up online for 30 days, giving a series. Right? So video. So Instagram and TikTok. Guys, series are very, very important. Like, yeah, it's a new trend now that people are starting series. I don't know if anybody have noticed. People are starting series. Day one of doing this, day two of doing this, day three of doing this. Series are very, very important. So you can start a series. Anybody here, you can start a series. Um, it's a of course you can target coaches on LinkedIn. You can target coaches on LinkedIn. Someone says tutorials like what? I'm not understanding. If you're an interior designer, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Except if you are doing anything that is related to this, that is not it's not career wise, it's still the same platform I'll give you guys. NGO, you could use LinkedIn. LinkedIn will be good for you if you're an NGO, depending on what the NGO is. Depending on what the NGO is doing, Sha, like your target audience is very, very important. Understand your target audience because everything is about them. So where are they? Like who are you looking to attract? So then you can choose a platform from from that light. As an educator, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Ah, laptop. I'm not a laptop expert. I use a MacBook, and I just bought the Mac. I don't know. I just bought the MacBook for buying sake. Actually, like it's not for buying sake. It's actually for my work. But any laptop works. So far, the laptop has a good processor. Anything from Core i5 is okay. Um, anything from Core i5 is okay. 8 gig RAM is okay. 8 gig RAM Core i5 and a good processor is okay. But you can start with whatever you have. I'm going to tell you a story, guys. I started copywriting with my phone. Like I started copywriting with my phone. I was using Infinix Hot 6. I would write copy with my I started graphic designing with my phone. My career actually started from being a graphic designer because I love graphics. Started graphic design. I used to design with Pixel. I don't know if anybody knows that app. Pixel. Pexel. Still one of the best um still one of the best uh apps for designing. I used to design with my phone. iPhone, I say iPhone. It was not iPhone. It was an Infinix Hot 6. Right? I used to design with that phone. I would spend hours with that phone. When I started copywriting also, I started copywriting with that same phone. I started editing in my phone with that same phone. I used to use InShot. Started editing on InShot with that phone. I would spend hours and nights on YouTube, and I would spend I used to do night sub that time. Like I would do night sub, watch videos in the morning, I would start editing on InShot with my phone. I earned my first 100,000 naira with copywriting in one go. Like first time I saw big money in my life, it was 100,000 naira for writing a copy. That was the first big money that I saw in my life. Like for me, that was my own. And from there, I upgraded my phone. I bought a uh, I bought a Redmi 10, and it was that same Redmi 10 that I was using that I bought a MacBook Pro with my phone. Like my first 100K, it was my phone I was using. To my first 500K that I used to buy a MacBook Pro, it was all my phone that I was using. So like guys, the thing is just to start with your phone. Like just start if it's phone that you have, start with it. Anything, start with your phone. So why you have a phone, even if it's a laptop that is too big, the small thing that you can do, just do it with it. What platform is best for an electrical material trader? Mm, TikTok, if I would say TikTok. Fashion designer, TikTok, Instagram. So if you have ideas but you don't know how to draft it, learn how to write the ideas. Once you have an idea, go on your WhatsApp or your notes app, write the idea, just draft it down. Don't think about it, just draft it down, leave it again. And then one thing that will help you is meditation, like meditation and sometimes just do research. For example, anything that you have, like anything that you're thinking of now, there are 1,000 people that have talked about that thing. Like nothing in your head is new. Let me tell you, that's does what nothing in your head is new. So most time when I have an idea, like something just pops in my head, and I'm thinking of something. One thing I'll just do is to go to Meta AI and tell Meta AI, this is what I'm thinking about. Can you help me to flesh this out? And you see, Meta AI will give me more, like to just flesh it out. But most times I just take the idea and go to YouTube and just search for videos on that thing, and from then from that I get more context. If you want to do this thing, you must learn how to steal. Like you must learn how to copy people a lot. Like copy people in a good way. Like not that like like not like you're copying what people are saying, but then you have an idea, something pops in your head. You can go to YouTube, just type exactly that same thing. YouTube will bring videos of that same thing. Nothing in your head is new. Don't. Don't think that what is here is new. There are people that have written blogs on that thing that you're thinking of. So go and read what they have done, and then you can get more ideas and get context. Another thing that will help you is meditation. When you have an idea, like ponder about it. Just sit down and ponder about it. You get more ideas, and then take walks also. Like most times, I get my best ideas when I am taking walks. Like so when I'm just walking, I'm getting my best ideas, right? And then consume a lot of materials. Consume a lot of materials. It will help you greatly. Hmm. There's a part, I think we need to also add that in our mentorship session, we'll add the part of getting clients as a digital marketer, because that's a big one. Because if you learn a skill and then you don't get clients, it now becomes an issue. So during our mentorship session, we'll look at those parts, like how do you get jobs. But please, for these next 8 weeks, just concentrate on getting this thing right. If you are still here and then after this class, like you just wait till the next class before you do anything, I don't think you are serious yet. And I will never advise anybody to hire you. After all of this class, please go back to what you have learned. Like, I expect everybody to be taking notes here and be having a to-do that this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to read about. I don't know how many of you have watched a copywriting video after the copywriting class. How many of you have gone back to watch other videos, not just what was said in our last class? How many of you have gone to watch more videos on YouTube on? Those are the things that like will make me know that you're going to be successful. If you don't have this research mentality from the start, from the get-go, that you don't have this research mentality that when you learn something, you need to go back and go and research on that thing and go and learn more about that thing. Like I know already if you'll be successful in this thing or not. So don't just rely on what is being said in class and then all you're thinking about is when I'm done, how will I get clients? Right? Actually be good. I used to tell my students that it's better for you not to have clients than to have a client and then the client is giving you bad feedback. Like in a way it's better. Like it's better for you to at least be good enough that your work is even average, that somebody can see your value first. It does not have to be perfect, but somebody can actually see your value and see why they can pay you for this thing. But if you go and now mess, like you go and work for somebody and then they are worse off than when they started, doesn't make sense. So guys, don't just, once you are done with these things, um go on other go on YouTube, go and learn more about it. Go and learn more about it. Start practicing. Your project is going to be very, very like practical intensive, right? So you are going to come up with a live campaign and everything. Right. So thank you guys. I hope you guys got value today. um I'll see you in our next class, maybe next week. um Till then, please keep researching, keep working on yourself, and keep getting better. Bye, everyone. Good night.